Let's have a look at Revelation chapter 7 to see who the 144,000 mentioned in the Bible are. That's Revelation chapter 7, verses 2 to 7. It says, I saw another angel ascending from the sunrise, having a seal of the living God. And he called with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was granted to harm the earth and the sea, saying, Do not harm the earth or the sea or the trees, until after we have sealed the slaves of our God in the foreheads. And I heard the number of those who were sealed, 144,000, sealed out of every tribe of the sons of Israel. Out of the tribe of Judah, 12,000 sealed. Out of the tribe of Reuben, 12,000. Out of the tribe of Gad, 12,000. Out of the tribe of Asher, 12,000. Out of the tribe of Naphtali, 12,000. Out of the tribe of Manasseh, 12,000. Out of the tribe of Simeon, 12,000. Out of the tribe of Levi, 12,000. Out of the tribe of Issachar, 12,000. Out of the tribe of Zebulun, 12,000. Out of the tribe of Joseph, 12,000. Out of the tribe of Benjamin, 12,000 sealed. So, the 144,000 here is clearly illustrated by the multiplication of the 12,000 members of each of the 12 tribes of Israel. So it's 12,000 multiplied by 12. We know from the Apostle Paul's words, he said, until the full number of Israel is saved. So we know that the full number of spiritual Israelites will be saved. And so this number here, 144,000, is referring to the full number of the spiritual Israelites who will be saved by Jehovah God. As there cannot be any particular time when the literal Israel, nation of Israel, had exactly 12,000 in each tribe, it's very unlikely that this is a literal number, but represents the total number of spiritual Israelites. The chapter there in Revelation chapter 7 then goes on to describe a great crowd and does not say anything more about the 144,000. So let's move on to Revelation chapter 14. That helps us to identify some other things about the 144,000. Revelation chapter 14 verses 1 to 5 says, Then I saw and look the Lamb standing on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000 who have his name and the name of his Father written on their foreheads. I heard a sound coming out of heaven like the sound of many waters, and like the sound of loud thunder. And the sound that I heard was like singers who accompany themselves by playing on their harps. And they are singing what seems to be a new song before the throne and before the 4 living creatures and the elders. And no one was able to master that song except the 144,000 who have been bought from the earth. These are the ones who did not defile themselves with women. In fact, they are virgins. These are the ones who keep following the Lamb no matter where he goes. These were bought from among mankind as firstfruits to God and to the Lamb. And no deceit was found in their mouths. They are without blemish. So it says there that the 144,000 were bought from the earth, and they are firstfruits of mankind. So we know they're human beings. We know they were on the earth, but were bought from the earth. And we know by the expression of the first fruits that they were harvested to heaven before others who were also on the earth. It also says that the 144,000 did not defile themselves with women. In fact, they are virgins. So for an engaged person to not defile himself with a woman means that that engaged person did not commit adultery. Symbolic fornication means idolatry, because the person is worshipping something that is other than Jehovah, or has religious devotion to something other than Jehovah or the King Jesus Christ. Or it would include apostasy, which would be a mixture of some loyalty and some disloyalty. So the 144,000 did not betray their engagement to Jesus Christ, but remained spiritual virgins. The full number of the 144,000 who are sealed do not defile themselves with women. In Revelation chapters 1 to 3, Jesus speaks to 7 congregations rather than 12. And to one of those congregations he says, in chapter 2 verses 20 to 26, "Nevertheless I do hold this against you, that you tolerate that woman Jezebel, who calls herself a prophetess, and she teaches and misleads my slaves to commit sexual immorality, and to eat things sacrificed to idols. And I gave her time to repent, but she is not willing to repent of her sexual immorality. Look, I am about to throw her into a sickbed, and those committing adultery with her into great tribulation, unless they repent of her deeds. And I will kill her children with deadly plague, so that all the congregations will know that I am the one who searches the kidneys and the hearts, and I will give to you individually according to your deeds. However, I say to the rest of you who are in Thyatira, all those who do not follow this teaching, those who did not get to know the so-called deep things of Satan, I am not putting on you any other burden. Just the same, hold fast to what you have until I come. And to the one who conquers and observes my deeds down to the end, I will give authority over the nations." Some of Jesus' claimed followers are committing spiritual adultery with the woman Jezebel, and so cannot be part of the 144,000 who do not defile themselves with women. The worship of any idol, including the goddess of feminism, disqualifies anyone who calls himself a Christian from being part of the 144,000. And anyone who uses lies or deceit to glorify themselves will also be disqualified from being part of the 144,000, because no deceit was found in their mouths. The real 144,000 would be honest enough to admit that they were not out of Babylon the Great in the year 1919, and they still have some work to do to free themselves of false religious teachings. They were given the example of Moses, who bragged about himself at the waters of Meribah, and King Herod, who was struck down by Jehovah for taking the glory of God for himself. But they have ignored these warnings and made grandiose statements about themselves. The Jehovahites of Empire of Jehovah support Jehovah's arrangements. We want to love the true 144,000 and work together with them to sanctify Jehovah's name. As commanded by Jehovah, we must warn the many who Jesus said would come saying, "I am the Anointed," that they are disqualified by their apostate teachings and idolatry. We are a signal raised up against them, a warning sign to them that they must not ignore.